Given the results today, are you finishing on a high or a low at Credit Suisse?
I mean, it's for other people to tell, but I feel very proud of what we have accomplished here at Credit Suisse. The teams have done an amazing job since 2015 when I arrived. This is my 19th result. And if you look at the new Credit Suisse, it produced a profit of about 5.1 billion, so we're above 5 billion. And we took at the end, last week, a provision of about 320 billion. But we are comfortably above 4 billion, which is, considering where we started, a tribute to our clients and to our staff. So overall, a good end for my final year.
So what will your legacy be, do you think?
I think really it's having put the company on solid ground, solid foundation, a lot of capital. We've increased the capital base very significantly, which allows us now to go through our cycles with a quiet mind. We've reduced the risks very significantly, and in wealth management, the strategy has been very, very successful. We added more than $200 billion of assets. The profits almost doubled in 4 years. And we've also reduced a lot of legacy issues that we have. So the combination of building a new platform, focusing on wealth management, growing, has created a platform that produces 9% ROTE in 2019, which is not bad. And the start of Q1 is off to a flying start. We said in the release, all divisions are. So I feel like the machine is turning and producing better and better results.
What's your biggest regret?
Regret, look, it's always if things go well, it's always a regret to leave. It should always be a regret. But fundamentally, I have no major regrets. I mean, we've talked about the recent events for which I expressed regret formally. But in the big picture of things, in terms of driving the business forward, the strategy has worked.
Do you feel wronged by what happened last week and the way you've been asked?
No. We came to an agreement with the board that there should be a change of leadership, and it was announced, and I'm perfectly okay with it.
Have you spoken to the new chief executive and has he told you that actually he'll continue and use your same strategy?
First thing I'd like to say about Thomas Gottstein, the new CEO, is that we've been very close. I actually appointed him CEO of Switzerland when I created the Swiss bank, which was new. And he did a phenomenal job. He's somebody I've worked very closely with for 5 years, whom I know very well. And I have every confidence that I leave the company in good hands. That's also very important to me. Because the true legacy actually comes after you leave. And I've been fortunate enough to run 2 companies. Prudential has not been in the news since I left because it's working very well. And it was my ambition when I run a company to create a durable success. So my greatest joy is when I look at the Q1 numbers, because I can see that in Q4, in spite of all the perturbation, the performance has been very good. It's been one of our best quarters ever. And this is continuing in Q1, and that's what you want.
How did you find out that you were leaving the bank last week?
We've been having discussions with the board, and we agreed on this. Those things are a continuous process.
If you look at the spying scandal, was that the reason why the board said that you had to leave? Have you been speaking to FINMA about it?
I'm not going to get into all the detail of this. Today is a day to, I think, celebrate a return of Credit Suisse to firm profitability. I mean, we have more than 3 billion of net income. We had 2.7 billion of losses in 2016, about 1 billion of losses in 2017, 2 billion of profit in 2018, and 3 billion in 2019. And those are my 4 years, full years as CEO of Credit Suisse. So I want to come here to thank our clients for their trust, thank our staff for their hard work. I'm really proud that we brought Credit Suisse back to such a position. It's a great achievement, I think, for us, but also for Switzerland. And that's the main topic of the day.
So what do you think is in store for Credit Suisse over the next 2 to 3 years?
Continued success. We are really in a unique position. We have a great franchise in wealth management and in investment banking. I mean, our results, we're number 1 in investment banking in Asia this year for the first time. Globally, we're top 5 in IPOs. We just got to the 6th spot in equities. So the investment banking has not suffered from the focus on wealth management. On the contrary, we're producing our best results ever. So that's going to continue. I leave behind a very strong team. I've focused a lot on building a team. I believe in a team approach, and the leader of this team, Thomas, is the right leader. So I think some good years ahead.
But are you disappointed with the share price? I mean, it's highly unusual to have a chief executive say the strategy is working great.
Yeah, not at all.
But has been asked to leave.
Because when I took over, the situation of the company was I think I can say much worse than anybody knew in terms of, we had a 10.2% CET1 ratio on the old basis. We had to raise 10 billion of capital. You have to look at the share price post-restructuring. From 15 to 18, we took $15 billion of losses. That's actual money. So there was no way we were going to increase the share price. What you have to look at is once Credit Suisse is restructured, the performance of the share price. And in 19, we were one of the best performing stocks in banking, and in 22 so far. So this new bank is performing very well. But before that, we had to recapitalize the banks, which involved issuing 60% more shares. So you have to track the share price from, and you see there's a lot of buying. People have been buying last year, are buying again, because they believe that from here, the way up is up. We're growing tangible book value per share at 11%. That's better than the US banks. And that drives the share price.
Given all of that, why has the board asked you to leave?
That's a question for the board. But fundamentally, we agreed that there should be a change of leadership, and I was in agreement, and we're moving to a new phase.
And you're not expecting any more spying scandals to crop up? I know I've asked you last time, but I need to ask you again.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. I know, but I don't know of any, but I don't know if there are any.
When you look at the plight of a lot of these banks, what do you think will be much more difficult for Credit Suisse going forward? Is it negative rates? Is it the world economy? Is it something else?
I mean, the world economy is, of course, always the number one driver of what we do. In the end, we operate in the global economy. But we are positive about the world economy. We think that the US economy is solid. So far, we think that the coronavirus is every day in the news and a topic of worry, and we've done a lot of work to protect our staff, but we think it will be ultimately contained. So we're quite positive on the world economy, and we have been very effective in finding answers to the negative interest rate. You will see that in Switzerland we suffered a little bit in 19, but we took some measures that have started to produce an effect in 19, and we're seeing them working very well in 20. So we can counter that quite effectively. And our transaction revenue is also up quite significantly.
What are you doing next?
I'm going to continue the presentations today, finish the day, try to make this a very good day for Credit Suisse. And after that, I'll go away and rest and spend time with my sons, primarily from next week.
Do you know, will you cut ties with Zurich or?
I've made a life here. Please give me a chance to say this. I have been treated extremely well by the Swiss people. I don't have a single bad thing to say about them. They're very kind on the street level. People are always very, very nice to me. And I have bought a home here, so I'm here. For the rest, it's too early to tell. All my career, I've lived and worked in different places. It will ultimately depend on where I find the best opportunity and combination between what I want to do and my skills.
Are you attached to banking? Will you be looking at something in banking or?
It's too early to tell. I would love to tell you more, but it's too early to tell. I'm still actually CEO today.
Yeah, you are. What will you do today? Have you spoken to staff?
I have a big town hall at 2 o'clock, a global town hall with Thomas Gottstein and all my team. So that will be the opportunity to say my 2 messages of today. Thank you and goodbye. I also wish them well to the next stage. I wish everybody at Credit Suisse well. I've spent 5 years of my life getting the bank to this point. I'm really proud of what we've accomplished. I think we leave Switzerland with a well-capitalized, well-functioning, large bank, which is no bad thing to have for the Swiss economy.
Your best piece of advice for the new chief executive as he starts tomorrow?
I'll tell him in private.